I am telling you, it is the definition between an entrepreneur and an employee. The employee goes to the cliff, looks over the cliff, says, is there a balloon down there? Do I be safe? What happens if it hurts? What if I land on my neck? The entrepreneur, they said, when you jump off the cliff, backs up 10 feet, you get a fucking run.
This town needs an enema.
Fuck.
Who are you? Where's Commissioner Green?
Come on. You guys take beat me.
You stupid!
You don't really think you believe things change?
You got me! Who's got you?
Everything changed. Yeah, and anyone who tells you different is just lying.
You know who this is? This is Mark motherfucking Sylvester.
Okay, that's my bad.
I was like, whoa.
No, I fucked that up right from the get-go. I was getting ready to do like the timing wise. I'm like, I didn't even add us live to the show yet.
Oh man.
Yeah,
That's wild.
That was a fail.
It's very unprofessional. Like 4.5 years
super.
on this, doing this shit.
Has it been that long? And it's that unprofessional right off the get-go?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel bad now. I really do. I do. How you doing, man?
Doing great, brother. Doing great. Good stuff is coming along. Ordered the Last Blood 2 for us.
Oh, yes.
So whenever that comes. Was able to get the Blood Wolf covers because the Rob's standard unsigned stuff was sold out.
In seconds, probably.
I guess. I assumed it was like a pre-order.
Gotcha.
But
Was it like live then? Like went on sale like live? And you had to pick it up then?
I think it went live yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. All right.
I just did it today.
So you missed the deadline.
I did it. Yeah.
All right. Well, at least we got it. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
I have to give a shout out to Mark Penguin, who sent me a copy of the first issue of Last Blood #1 for my birthday last year or earlier this year. That's the only reason why I got it then. So now I'm excited though to read issue 2.
Yeah, same. Shout out to my guy Jeremy Brown for hooking me up on issue 1, and that was great.
Hell yeah. Well, I mean, tonight though, that plays right into a lot of the subjects we're going to be talking about tonight with the return of the blood, as they say. Young Blood, Rob Liefeld together again.
Just feels good, right?
It feels right, Sean. It just feels right. 2025 is going to be a fucking awesome year for comic book nerds in their 40s, like us, or our 20s, whatever you want to say.
It's like on Rob's recent podcast, like I think it was like Old Man Comics or something.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I heard a little bit. Like Mark and I were listening to it. But yeah. I think that's what we've all been doing for the past few years, or attempting to do, is comics for us, by us.
Oh, absolutely. It's funny because you sent me the news or the article of the Young Blood announcement that I hadn't seen yet. And I was like, oh man, it's awesome. And then like 20 minutes later, you sent me the news of the Jim Lee stuff. And I'm like, is this Christmas early?
Yeah.
Everything that we have been talking about for like the last couple years. I'm like, man, when's Rob Liefeld going to get Young Blood back? We can get this thing going again. Extremes, universe. Let's get rocking and rolling again and get him back into that world. And then we were talking about like, if Jim Lee was to do something, it'd be great to have him get back together with Jeff Loeb. whether it was Batman or something else. But and all of a sudden, boom, there they are, jumping on to the main title of Batman next year. So we're talking 2025. We got Rob Liefeld, Youngblood.
Yeah.
And then we got Jim Lee, Jeff Loeb, Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Did we wish this into fulfillment?
It's got to be us. We'll take credit for it.
I'll take credit for it.
Yeah, we should take credit for it.
Yeah, I'll text Rob. You're welcome.
None of this would have happened. Yeah,
exactly.
You're welcome, everybody.
Like the artists in our chat. You're welcome, guys.
Yeah.
Up, kid.
Speaking of the chat, let's say, hey, real quick, we got Mark Penguin, number 1. Did I say Penguin?
You said Penguin.
I said Penguin. Jeez. By the way, the new Penguin series on Max is pretty damn good.
I like it. I'm
digging it.
Yeah,
I gotta still watch the newest episode, but I like it so far.
Yeah, it's intriguing.
Mark Penguin, I should say. Number 1 in the chat, number 1 in our heart says, Ride and Pain Book 2 by Mark Poulton and Chris Graves is the sequel of 2024. He ain't lying. He ain't lying. I remember the channel Rick Saylor in the house as well. Great to see you, brother. Thank you for being here.
Fuck yeah.
Dennis Kelly, hail and good evening, all. Hail to you.
What's up, bud?
We got Duck Bacon in the house. Hail, Joe. Sean, Poulton, Graves, hail the chat. And don't forget, Missrena is here as well.
If you're nasty.
Oh, I like that.
Like Janet, if you're nasty.
Speaking of Mark, rock and rolling in the chat.
Right,
Great to see
you.
Hail the Lord's in the house.
Hail the Lord.
Hail
Good to see you, brother. What's up?
We got Cosmic Studios, member of the channel, rocking and rolling with us.
Killing it in the October draw off. Seeing him on Instagram, posting some really cool shit.
I need to get on Instagram more often. I'm not on the I need to jump back in there. I miss a lot of great art, I'm assuming. Speaking is in the house. Yeah, speaking of great artists, we got great artists all over the place. We got great artists on the panel, in the chat.
Yeah.
Speaking of great artists, we got Chris Graves waiting in the back room. Hells yes. Pizza's in the house.
What's up, Pizza?
Good to see you, man. Another great artist, Mr. Wait, did I ever say that?
But give him his chops.
We'll give him a shout out.
His chops.
Duck Bacon. Another great artist, Chauncey Blakey.
In charge, as always.
You guys in here. We got Black Hat Cinephile.
How you doing?
All right. What Silver Ogre. Hell
nice.
Yeah, good evening.
All right, cool,
everybody.
Cool,
Joe and Sean, good to see you, brother.
Nice.
It's been a second. Hope everything is
one of
doing
our
good.
Originals.
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah. Shit, that's awesome. All right, let's get rolling. We've been chattering here for 8 minutes. Let's bring on our guests and talk about some of the fun happenings here in the comic book world. It is Thursday night. I'm feeling good. Welcome to
Art and Stuff. 25 years in the business on a technicality. Like Norman, my skills are the baits. I might be dysfunctional, but I'm functional. I'm recklessly charismatic, the editor extraordinaire, the Hispanic god on paper. I'm smoother than your days and underoos. Creator type 1, the only one, except no duplicates. I'm cooler than the gang. Jersey's finest Sean Ahrendt. With me as always, my brother Not.
I'm very talented, very sexy, the very distinguished, always narcissistic, but never vain. Staunch defender Rob Liefeld and Gina Carano, and a lover of all things 90s. Joseph Michael Sonntag, or Joe M Sonntag, if you prefer, as the Pope likes to call me, JMS. Welcome to the show, and as always, what an awesome show we have for you tonight, because we have some of our returning friends, long-time guests to the show. Who do we have coming on, Sean?
We got two of my closest guys. We got Chris Graves and Mark Poulton returning on. Talk about Ride and Pain too, and we got Missrena back after a long time of not seeing her. So I'm looking forward to see
Black Rhapsody 2.
So looking to see what she's been up to. So let's bring them
do
on.
It. All right, boys and girls, welcome to the show, everybody. How's it going?
Going on?
Hell yeah! First, congratulations to you two. Awesome success. Friday night was fire. You guys are killing it. Ride into. I'm very excited. Ride and Pain Volume 2, fucking sequel of the year. You guys got one of the coolest books out. I'm excited for all of this.
Thanks,
Hopefully everybody picked up Ride and Pain issue 1 and got that out there and experienced the juicy awesomeness that is that. Missrena, welcome back to the show. Black Rhapsody 1 hit. That was a success. You got that out, so congratulations, because there are some people like myself that don't have their books out just yet. So shout out to you. Working on issue 2 or book 2, whatever you want to call it, coming out here. We'll definitely talk about that a little bit later. But welcome to the show, Missrena.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back after such a long time. And sorry I haven't been in contact.
Absolutely.
It's all good. We'll just guilt you from time to time.
Yeah,
it's all love.
We'll just
put
the guilt trip on you. That's all we do. So no worries whatsoever. Member of the channel, Sheldon Martin's in the house. Yeah, riding. What?
Yeah.
Riding 2. Yes,
That's it.
What you said.
Yeah, that's the
What you
remix.
said. Yeah. Dragon Ball characters from a toy. Oh, okay then. Nice. I like it. Show us your
My
work.
man,
Tag
right
us.
there.
Tag us. Let's go. All right. So breaking this down, we had to talk to Missrena right before we went live, and she wasn't actually aware of Jim Lee. No, no shade or anything, but she was aware of Hush. So we were able to throw that out there so she knows part of what we're going to talk about. But before we get to that, I just want to say, because the majority of us here that I know of are big Rob Liefeld fans.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you guys go way back to the message boards of the early 2000s or whenever that was, with Liefeld himself. We're all part of the Liefeld message group or Facebook group, whatever, on Facebook. How excited were you when you heard this news? Because I was like freaking 14-year-old excited again, just like everything that I had hoped for and been wanting for a long time, over the moon, ready to rock and roll. I mean, what do you guys think when you heard the news that Rob Liefeld was reunited with Youngblood for 2025, and it sounds like he's got some killer shit in store?
It makes me remember what being a fan is. It makes me excited for what's coming out. I mean, I was listening to his podcast. He's talking about not just new comics, but finally reprints of the old stuff.
Yes.
Art books, things we've been asking for, we've wanted for years, but we didn't think it was possible. It's going to finally happen. And I don't know. I mean, I'm so excited. I'm staying up past my bedtime to talk about it. So
yes. And what do you think, Chris?
I'm going to be honest. I'm a huge Liefeld fan, but I never really did the Youngblood, because right around that time it was Spawn, for me. And
I get you. Yeah,
I'm a McFarlane guy. Love Jim Liefeld stuff rather, but so I never really got into that stuff, but I'm looking forward to it because I know how much he loved it and how he talks about it. I see some of the book, some of the artwork, so I'm excited to see what he brings to it now.
Have you gone back and looked at any of the old Youngblood run? Because Sean and I are pretty much in agreement that Youngblood, like 4 through 7 ish, is probably one of our favorite eras of Rob's art style. Like, especially he's jamming with guys like Mickey and Sabal and stuff like that. But just that whole energetic run. I mean, all Youngblood was great for me, but there was something about like that style that he was killing it at the time, and so I forgot my point with that. But just if you've gone back and checked out any of those books.
No, I didn't get a chance to yet. Like I said, I breezed through a couple of them, but I couldn't remember which one it was. But it's just back at that time, right, man? It was even the guy that does Savage Dragon. He's kind of a dick now, but I mean, but like his art's kind of in and out. But back then, man, he was fucking killing it. Just everybody was on
Larson back in the day. Oh yeah,
Larson was on his game. Fucking Liefeld, Lee, like they were all just
what an era.
It's great comics.
What an era
fucking
to be a comic book reader. Missrena, I don't know if you were reading comics in the 90s or if you even got into that whatsoever. I honestly don't know what your likes are, but what was your thought when you heard the news or you heard the subject that we were going to be talking about today?
I was kind of indifferent because I was born in the 90s and I grew up in the 2000s.
Oh shit.
All right.
All right.
I'm
youngest here.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's not like dwell on that too much,
Nobody's perfect.
Stop bragging.
I like memes with the feet, his art, the memes about his art.
Yeah.
That's all. That's how I from there. I haven't really checked out his work.
You gotta
get on it. Let's address the feet thing. Like, did Frazetta do
address
feet?
it?
Like, come on, did Silvestri do a feet? No, they hit it in clouds of smoke. Like,
debris.
What's your fetish with feet, people? Like, and these people know who I'm talking to. Like, what's wrong with you guys? Like
that's how I came to know him. It's about the feet memes I kept seeing online.
No, I'm just talking about friends of ours that are trashing him. Yeah.
Well, no, it's go ahead, Chris.
No, it was funny because I guess it was about a month ago. I forget what he announced. He announced that he was doing something, and of course, he got the onslaught of like assholes.
Oh, of course.
So I just put a general post on there. I'm like, imagine like a guy who's only accomplishment is his mom putting the fucking piece on his refrigerator. Rob Liefeld, that he stinks. You know what I mean? Like the most successful guy in the business, dude. He commented on it, and they kind of blew up. It was pretty cool. But you know, he said, "Yeah, thanks for stepping up or whatever." But I think what people miss with his work is, yeah, you could nitpick anatomy all day long, but it was about in your face at that time, like fucking jumping off the page. His composition, second to none. He's just a fucking amazing artist, man, and he sells his shit like nobody does.
Right?
Yeah.
Him and Todd, that have that gift of gab, and they can sell their work.
I mean, it seems like anything that Rob does goes up and sells very well. I mean, there's a reason why Marvel has been, keeping him busy for the last friggin' however long. We're talking about 15 years. I mean, going back to the Deadpool core and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they've been keeping him around because he brings sales, absolutely to the books. But I think the whole feet thing, who knows what that's all about? That's become kind of like a monster of its own. And Sean said, like, you can name any great artist that you want to name, and I can find you tons of pictures that they hid the feet, because who likes drawing feet?
His feet suck.
You don't necessarily need to show them to know that they're standing on something, people. Good Lord.
I don't know. I do. I guess I'm an ass. I like drawing feet and hands, but like I get it. But especially back at that time, what was it, like a triangle and like they would cut the triangle off to kind of show the foot going forward. Yeah. So it wasn't like anybody was this fucking master foot drawer back in the back in the 90s.
Right. Yeah. No, that's absolutely a fact. Yep.
What's up, Admiral Wackass? How's it going, bro?
I was just gonna say, Admiral Wackass says I missed all this 92. So another youngin.
Yeah.
All you young people out there.
Lucky sons of bitches.
Jamie says, fetishes with feet. That's where I come in. That's right. That is absolutely for sure. That's what Sean is into, feet.
One of the many things.
Hail Timescales. Good to see you. We also got Kayla in the house.
Wow.
Yeah, the Aurora Borealis. People keep saying it's amazing. I will tell you from where I'm at, you can't see it with the naked eye. And I'm not going to go take a picture of it just to see it, because it doesn't really exist unless I can see it.
Yeah, I didn't see shit
with my eyes. So, yeah, hopefully there are people around there that can actually see it with their eyes, and good for you. I cannot, so I don't care. People, hurts my feelings. Making dinner and listening. All right, hope you're having something good. Tell us.
Try
about
to be too phallic.
90s was free of feet with a lot of artists then. It was either no feet or feet that would break under their bodies, but blah, feet, no feet, etc. Yeah. Nah, it's just what Chris said is 100% true. Like, there are a few artists out there that can capture the excitement of readers like Rob did. And we can nitpick any artist out there you can find issues with for whatever reason if you really want to. But the comics are about fun, dynamic, entertainment. And that's what Rob has brought us for friggin' 30 some odd years now, maybe longer. I can't remember.
Close to 40, probably.
Close to 40.
He's just killing it.
Yeah.
But I'm just Youngblood. I know that specifically me, Sean, and Mark with the Youngblood. I mean, Youngblood was my really first big introduction into Liefeld. Like, I always knew who he was, but being that I was 10 years old when the Image launched, I wasn't like really privy to a lot of the X-Force and stuff before that. So like, I got into Rob specifically mostly because of Youngblood, and then I went back in and checked out X-Force and stuff like that. So Youngblood holds a very special place in my heart for just being excited. I remember the first time I was reading the comic and saw like Bad Rock. I thought it was just for some reason I was like, that is the most amazing character. It struck with me. There was I don't know if it was an Image pullout poster. If you guys know what I'm talking about, it was this shot. I can never find it, but it's a shot of like Bad Rock and then Shaft right in front of him. It's just the two characters. Yeah. But I remember seeing that when I was younger, like when I was 12 or whatever, and I was just like, man, this is just like, to me, like, this is what is exciting. And I was a big fan of Marvel at that time, but that shit hit, and I was just on a different level, man.
Yeah, 12 years old, right? Like, that's what it was about. I mean, older,
Yeah, for me,
when you're older, you can look at it and say, but when you were 12 and you saw that shit jump off the page, blew your fucking mind.
Mm-hmm.
Still does.
What were you gonna say, Mark?
Yeah, for me, I first noticed Rob, I guess, for me, I first noticed Rob on New Mutants, and then I followed him over to X-Force. And for me, Youngblood represents the first time I realized, oh, these guys can, you don't have to work for someone else. You can go create your own thing. So for me, it was the onslaught of independence with the formation of the Image, and then all the indies that afterwards in the 90s. I feel like that really Young is the first fired, and I don't know. It's I've always loved the book, and to see how energized Rob is, and he talks about on his podcast a lot having equity in the stuff that he does now. This is why this is his last Deadpool story, because he's tired of building equity for Marvel. He has all these other characters, which for the rest of his career he wants to build these guys up: Youngblood, Evangeline, Prophet, Bloodstrike Brigade. So I don't know, man. I think we're going to get a lot of cool stuff in the next few years.
I'm personally excited because it's been such a long time. Yeah, he's dabbled in the Extreme universe here or there, but since really leaving Image and probably after Awesome Comics, we really haven't seen a concentrated effort into the Extreme studio or the Extreme character catalog.
Cass,
yeah, go ahead.
I would say, what's the Extreme universe for someone who isn't familiar with it?
It's Rob's characters. It's his world. It's his branch that his studio, Extreme Studios from Image Comics. There was Extreme, Top Cow, Wildstorm, Todd McFarlane Productions, Highbrow, and Shadowline. So Extreme is his world, his piece of that pie. And whether it's Image or not, it's the Extreme universe where these characters that we're talking about live and will be going forward.
Yeah, and with Image Comics, I mean, he was the first book in Image Comics that hit the shelves, and Image Comics was a movement of indie creators, coming from the big, Marvel at the time and creating their own stuff and actually really, paving a way for the excitement of what indie comics could be. But they dropped in a time in 92 and just shook up the entire industry. They were an independent comic company that registered second in the company. They jumped DC and for a 2-week span or whatever with their 5 titles that dropped. But with Rob Liefeld, I mean, he dropped Youngblood, and he kept coming out with awesome characters. You had Brigade that came after that, then Prophet dropped, Supreme, Blood Wolf, Bloodstrike. I mean, it just kept going. I mean, there were so many awesome characters that were created just from that Extreme Studios catalog. And it was something I think that was really missing, when he left Image. I think it was something that definitely missed, that company, and missed the industry in general. Those books were just fun, whether people want to dog them for stories here or, being, whatever you want to say it, that was the fun stuff of the 90s that I missed, when things could just be let's throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Let's tell over the top bombastic stories, with some amazing looking characters and awesome art.
And it showed that the indie artists or the artists that create the writers right to do your own thing without needing to Marvel or DC, independent rights, if you will. It changed the game.
Yeah. Yeah, but I guess Marvel and DC did have a hand in it, right? Because you kind of build your brand there that you're following. So
for sure,
yeah,
100%. They did set the stage for indies, but I just think a lot of it, does it work? Does it really work if those guys didn't build that brand through those guys? Though you wonder. I guess they would, because they're superstar. There's so much talent, but I just kind of wonder what it's kind of hand in hand, I guess.
No. I mean, you definitely have to give credit to Marvel for bringing these guys on and these guys cutting their teeth and creating their stardom at Marvel, because that's where it started. I think the thing that is impressive is in an era where it was always about the characters and or the writers, that the artists for the first time were having a, their public persona. People were wanting to know who the hell they were. People started to know Jim Lee, Liefeld, Tom McFarlane, and they were starting to like books based solely on just their art. And I think that was like the big thing. Like that was the art revolution, right? Which we don't see that anymore. We probably never see it again, to be honest with you.
Right.
That was a special place in time that, yes, Marvel, they were at like the house style, whatever you want to call it. They established that style, right? And so, yeah, Marvel gets a good shout out for that, and without Marvel, it might not have been the same. Who knows? Maybe they went to a different company and did the same thing. I feel like at that time, talent would have rose to the top when it comes to art, because that pop culture, for some reason, people were just really getting into artists, and it was just taking off.
Stars definitely aligned, though, for sure.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I since I've never really checked out Jim Lee's work, is he just as good of a writer as an artist?
No.
I'm sure that Jim Lee can plot just fine and come up with ideas, but he's never really spent time writing. Honestly, he's always worked with writers. I don't know if there's a single project that he really wrote on his own.
Divine Right, maybe.
Wasn't that Brandon Choi too?
It could be. I don't know.
I thought that was Scott Lobdell. I don't know.
Was that Lobdell? Okay.
Fuck do I do? I don't read.
As far as I know,
I'm right with you, Sean.
Yeah.
I don't read that shit.
Jim Lee has always been basically, he likes to draw, likes to plot, come up with ideas, but never like the writer, which is fine. It's one thing that I respect about Liefeld a lot. Like he doesn't always script, because it takes a lot of time. But I mean, he's a storyteller writer,
Yeah, and not to throw shade at Mark here. It's a visual medium, what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Like, I don't give a fuck what you wrote in there. If you give me Todd, if you give me Liefeld, any whoever your favorite artist.
Sure.
Yeah. Do you really give too much of a fuck what the story is?
No.
Not in the beginning, right? You just want to see the new stuff that they're doing.
If you are following art, story is always going to be secondary, right? If you're somebody that just likes comics for the story and the art, then it'll probably be more important. Guys like me, I'm all about the art first. Like it could be the greatest writer in the history of comics writing the book, and I could not like the artist, and I won't buy it.
Yeah, 100%.
That's just the ways it is.
Well, it just kind of goes with what my whole mantra for 2024 has been. Fuck the writer, right?
Yeah. Well, look at that new what's that? Ultimate Batman or whatever the fuck that is.
Absolute. Yeah.
Absolute. And who Snyder's writing that, right? And we all agree he's considered a top tier guy.
Yeah.
And so from what I gathered, like the sales aren't as good as from what I'm seeing on the internet. Now you put fucking Capullo on that. You put Todd on that. It didn't matter who the fuck would write it. It didn't matter what that Batman looked like. It would be up there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know what the sales are, Ian. And that's something I never really honestly pay attention to, because the comic book industry is so weird with sales now compared to like when we were coming up with the books. It's just to me, I'm like, is this something that I enjoy? Then I'm gonna be happy about it. And I got Absolute Batman. I haven't read it yet. I've heard a couple people say they really dug it, so I'm looking forward to it. But you're right. You get
the art looks cool though. Like the cover. People are kind of ragging on the costume or whatever, but it's powerful and shit. So I did it.
It gives that just the cool factor, right? You look at something like, oh, that's cool. MSK coming through with a very, very important question. Wondering, is Sean my dad?
No, my pullout game is fucking on point, like Everlast.
That's not Megatron, Aaron, Sean?
There's a super chat, motherfucker.
MSK also dropping $2. Thank you, brother. Says, is Sean my dad? Maybe I can ask Jim Lee if he is.
Wait a minute.
He's just fishing for anything.
I would say I wish you success.
Yeah,
on your mission there.
Yeah. Wait, are you implying that like me and Jim Lee like had a baby? Like I know it's 2024, but like I don't know, man.
It's possible this time.
Yeah, I guess. But nah.
Chris is in the house. Great to see you, Chris.
How's it going?
They said Absolute Batman sold out.
Cool.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about anything, to be honest with you. I'm looking forward to. I haven't read it yet. I'm going to read it. I think actually next week we're going to talk about Absolute Batman and tell you all what we think about it.
Yeah, I'll pick it up still.
Postman's Lounge.
Nothing
Go ahead,
but
Miss.
positive things about Absolute Batman.
What about it?
I said I've been hearing positive things about Absolute Batman.
Very cool. Very cool.
Hells yes. Oh shit! I gotta get to another super chat. MSK is going crazy. The official Rob Liefeld hater committee is here to rain on your parade. Well,
thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
Get the fuck out.
Kick him out.
Banned.
That's probably
forever.
Rob's kid.
Yeah.
That's probably Chase.
My friend Greg Harms is in the chat over on Facebook. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for being here. We have another super chat from MSK. Says Gail Simone my mom and Chris is my dad.
Yo, I'm like jealous of Sean. He got Jim Lee.
I know, right?
Gail Simone.
What were you drinking that night, Chris?
A lot.
Okay.
Fuck what? It must have been all of it. Holy shit.
Yo, we all gotta do dumpster diving once in a while, right?
Yeah, you know, you've been there.
I've been there plenty.
Kayla in her shop where she's working says we're sitting on over 1,000 copies and we got every single copy. Are you saying that none sold?
Wow.
I find that hard to believe.
Wow.
Like I said, I just think it all varies, you know.
Yeah. You have no power over me.
I mean,
well, I do have this timeout and ban button. So I do have some power.
Yeah.
All right, switching gears then. Now that we brought up the Batman talk. So one of the things that got me back into comics in the early 2000s, because being in a band like I was in and out of comics a couple different times. Yeah. You know, doing the music thing, you know, all that kind of stuff. It was one day I was going back when there were still some spinner racks in the grocery store.
Oh shit.
I was, like, so what we're talking about 2004, 2002, whatever when Hush came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just happen to walk by and I saw a Batman title and I was like, man, that looks like Jim Lee's art. That's crazy. It's weird. So I pick it up and sure enough, it's Jim Lee. I was like, I didn't even know he was doing Batman. That was one of the things that actually single-handedly pulled me back into comic books at that point in time, as I was completely out, you know. And so I collected that entire series. I was a big fan of it. You know, I was always obviously a big fan of Jim Lee at the time. And that was, I still hold that in regard. Like, you know, some of my favorite Jim Lee work is Wildcats, the early Wildcats run, the X-Men, Wildcats. But I hold Hush in high regard for Jim Lee work and also getting me really into Jeff Loeb as a writer, which I became a big fan of after that. And Sean and I have always talked about how awesome it would be to see Jim Lee return to full-time drawing again. I'm not talking about just a cover here or there or a spot issue or a half an issue, but have him actually get back in the saddle again and go full bore on a run on a book. And I didn't care what book it was, as long as it was him and Jeff Loeb. So this news that Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb are getting back together and they're going to jumping back on the main title of Batman in 2025 is just another cherry on top of the cake here for the Rob Liefeld news. And so for that to drop at the same time or close to each other is extremely exciting. I mean, what do you guys think of Hush? And are you guys all excited that we're going to see that again or something along the lines in 2025?
Hush is my favorite Batman story. It's I don't know. I feel like after X-Men, Hush is Jim Lee's greatest work of art.
I can get that one.
After that, like he tried Superman, it didn't click.
Beautifully boring.
Yeah, you know, even like the Justice League with Jeff Johns didn't really click.
Was my favorite. Yep.
But I mean, him going back to Batman is huge for me, especially with Jeff Loeb returning with him.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't read it, but it looked great. You know.
But that's what it's all about. I just pulled up Wizard 130, and it's got the Jim Lee sketchbook in it from from like the month after they announced Hush.
He does such a good stoic Batman. Like,
just seeing this shit, like
fucking poses.
Like this is before Facebook, really the internet taking off or anything of the sorts where you could see this type of shit. And like for artists like us on the panel this is real study, like school stuff to learn, like behind the scene shit, like seeing like how he composes stuff and put it together. Like it was just like it
blows your fucking mind. Hell
yeah, so inspiring.
So what do you think? It's because what's the new Batman movie supposed to have a hush vibe to it? So I'm wondering if this is kind of I'm wondering if this is supposed to kind of wet your whistle before the movie actually comes out.
Well, that would be a good idea. That'd be a good marketing ploy.
Right?
Yeah, to actually have something that was going to be in the theater and then showcase that on the shelves as far as vibe goes. Yeah, I didn't know haven't heard much detail about what the story is going to be about. Like, is it going to be a semi-sequel to kind of Hush, or is it just going to be a brand new story? Right. Regardless, I'm fine because I trust in Jeff Loeb putting together a very awesome, action-packed, fun story. And knowing that Jim Lee is already has a few issues already in the can, that means he's working on it. He's been working on it.
Yeah.
And I have this theory, and I'll let you guys let me know if I'm right or wrong on this. What do you, if you agree or not? I feel like Jim Lee, being a very competitive guy, he's been on the sidelines for a little while, so to speak. And he's probably heard a lot of the talk. I myself have said it specifically. I said, his stuff is looking lazy. It's looking like he's bored. He's looking like he's bored drawing lately, right?
Just getting a check.
Right. That's what it looks like. And so Mark Silvestri comes out, drops a fucking banger of an awesome run on Batman Joker Deadly Duo, and just gets everybody talking. Looks amazing.
Hailed is like one of the best ones, right? Like
one of the best Batman stories in a long time, probably since Hush, in my opinion. And I'm like competitive juices, right, with Jim Lee. I'm like, he's got to be sitting there just being like, I need to go remind people that I'm Jim Lee, and I feel like, and I'm going to be disappointed if it's not this way. So I'm building it up. I feel like it's going to be some of Jim's best work. I think he's back concentrated to prove a point that he can still do the things that make him Jim Lee. And I think that we're going to see probably some of his best work in years. And that's why he's taking his time on this. He's doing stuff well in advance, just like he did Hush in the first time. He was like 6 or 7 issues into Hush before they even released it. So I feel like it's going to be that way, so it can hit on a monthly basis. And we're going to be looking at some of the best work that Jim Lee, Scott Williams, Alex Sinclair, because I'm assuming that that's going to be the team, have done in absolute years. What do you guys think?
I think you're right on the money. If you look back to how competitive those guys were when Image started, I think you're absolutely right that Jim Lee saw the success of Silvestri's Batman and was like, "Oh, let me show you what I can do."
Yeah.
I mean, Liefeld was even talking about Silvestri's Batman, saying like it was like the best run he's seen. So there was a lot of hype around that, and kind of, I don't even think Jim Lee was mentioned when they were talking about it. So yeah, I would assume so, like you said, and seeing even like Rob Liefeld's name, that's all out there. Yeah, Silvestri's name tied to this great Batman. So yeah, it would make sense that his competitive juices are like, fuck, let me do something. Let me show him who the real Batman artist is.
Yeah. And that's what's great. Get that competition out there, get those guys going at each other like they did in the 90s when they were trying to top each other, even the early 2000s when they're all trying to top each other with the work that they were putting out. Missrena, you said that you weren't quite sure exactly Jim Lee or what Jim Lee had done, but you were a big fan, or at least of the Hush run. Are you excited to hear that these two guys that did the Hush run are getting back together to do another Batman run?
Yeah, I'm pretty interested in it. I read Hush back in high school? No, high school. I pretty much enjoyed it. I think they came out with an animated adaptation. I'm not sure.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah, no, it was. They should never have done that.
No,
that's characterize it,
or at least did it right.
Right.
Yeah, at least done it right. Like it was all right. You could have done so much better with the animation. I just remember being very disappointed in it. Yeah, but so real quick. Kayla says the writing might be better than Silvestri's because Jeff Loeb, but I don't think Jim Lee is going to have better art than Silvestri. I'm going to say this, and I'm just going to preface this by saying that Mark Silvestri is my favorite artist of all time in space. That
you're
to
biased.
me, he's the GOAT, right? 100% influence me on my own style. I will always get whatever Silvestri puts out. Having said that, I absolutely think that Jim Lee could put out stuff that was better than the Batman and the Joker Deadly Duo, just because of that competitive spirit. When you get these guys grinding and you get somebody puts out something, you're like, I have to go out and do better than that. And he's absolutely capable of doing it. They're two different style artists. Silvestri's doing more of that kind of sketchy, very energetic line work. So, I'm assuming Jim Lee's going to get back to the very detailed, smooth Scott Williams rendering style and everything. But I think you're going to, again, I'm predicting that we're going to see the best work that you've seen out of Jim Lee in years. And I think it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. So I could see him putting it up there, that's my hope. That's what I'm putting on there as far as my expectations. So we'll see if they get met.
Like the cool thing about, I'm sorry, Chris, go for it.
No, go ahead, brother.
I was gonna say like yesterday, Mark was talking about how this is his favorite time in baseball because you're gonna get new players, you're gonna see who's coming on the draft, whatever.
Well, for the Phillies, because their season's over.
Well, I didn't want to bring it up. I want to sleep in my bed tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like for me, like having two of the guys that inspired me, like get resurgence of with their shit to come back out. Like what I get inspired by really is from like you two guys and like Adelso and fucking Isaac and Shelby. Like when you guys, Chris and Joe, Mark and right, but like you guys, like you are the guys that
too.
Yes. But you are the guys that are currently fueling my artistic fire in the past 2 years. Like, and now that like the guys that inspired me from a young buck to do it, it's just like this cool world just to be in, So like I can pick the tricks that you guys are doing now and like whatever new tricks they learn. Like artistically, like I'm gaining from that. I think we might all be doing that as well, like seeing what they're gonna be doing. But I'm fucking ecstatic as a motherfucker for all of this. I think it's a great time to be a comic book fan.
It's cool to feed off each other, man. It's what elevates the game. But just real quick, back on Silvestri, I think it's cool. Like Liefeld will shit talk Todd. He'll give him props and stuff, but he'll shit on him a little bit. Lee maybe about Liefeld and all that stuff, plus the behind the scenes shit. But it seems like they all agree that what's his name?
Silvestri
is the best artist out of them all.
Yeah.
Oh,
like the one thing they all agree on. It's funny.
He's the best illustrator artist out of them all because I think he could draw anything that he wants style wise. And we've seen the different evolutions of Silvestri over the years. He's one of those guys that tries different things, I do have to say I gotta address some of these really horrible takes. Sheldon Martin, I love you, but hot take. I think Jim Lee's will be good, but he passed his peak. Completely wrong, but thanks for coming. Kayla says I like Jim Lee. I'm hoping the book's good, but Jim's peaked. Completely wrong, but thank you for coming.
I love you, but you gotta
wait. What do we mean peaked? Like
that's what I want to say. Like, what does anybody mean by peaked? What does peaked really mean? What I would say is that Jim Lee has not been on his game over the last I don't know how many years, and it looks like when
put
he's
his heart in it.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a difference than not being able to do the shit.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you, Chris. He hasn't looked like he's excited to draw. It looks like the stuff he's put out is just a paycheck. Let me get it out. That's what it looks like. Prove me wrong. But to say he's peaked just because of that is it's completely false. And I don't understand where that comes from. Like, if an artist has a heart in it and a drive to do something, there is no peaking. You don't just forget how to draw. Unless your hands and your eyes are failing you, you don't forget. You just take different measures because you don't want to put the same effort that you did back in the day when you were killing it. So this whole peak thing, no, bad takes. I love you guys very much. You know that.
Just real quick to stay on that point for a second. Like I'm a Capullo guy, right? So if you look at his stuff, like when he first came back in Batman, he was a little stiff in the beginning, but then went ham. But now look at his stuff, what he's doing with Wolverine, which I was excited, and it's kind of like
inspiring.
But you look at the stuff he's doing with his own character to Creech, and it's almost like two different fucking styles. So like clearly the heart is into his new Creech book. And
is he being inked by someone else though on that?
He is. And I mean, we can get into that too if you want, but
Talk
it's just
about it.
like it's just a different vibe. And when you give a shit and you're motivated about something and you're passionate about something, it takes a different, it comes to a different level. you
Yeah,
know?
that's 100%, 100%. And Kayla's other comment here with Scott Williams will make Jim Lee's art. I disagree with that as well, because I've seen Scott Williams ink Jim Lee's work lately, and you can only ink what is presented there as far as a base. Scott Williams is fantastic. He's also a very, very great artist in his own right. But you're not going to be able to take Scott Williams and ape a Jim Lee work and make it look like peak Jim Lee. That's just not going to happen. So Jim Lee is still going to have to give that amazing base and let Scott Williams go over and embellish it. But you're not going to just, you've seen what it is. I mean, all the stuff that we've called out as art that isn't inspired has been inked by Scott Williams. If Scott Williams was going to make Jim Lee's uninspired art inspiring, we wouldn't be having this conversation, because it would have been amazing, and it just hasn't been. So it still is going to take Jim Lee to get off of his ass and really go in there and show people wrong. And that's what I think is going to happen. You know, like, this is the dick on the table moment. And I talked about this before with like David Finch and Moon Knight, you know, Mark Silvestri and new X-Men. These times where these guys come out and they have a purpose to show you who the hell they are, and it's just going to be amazing. So that's what I think when it comes to those comments. And I definitely agree. His heart has not been in a lot of stuff that you've seen, and that's 100% visual. You can tell.
Also says he don't give a fuck. Look at the shit he's allowing in DC, and I agree with that part of it. But this isn't just about what he's doing for DC. This is more of an ego thing that, like, we're talking about. Like,
speak to it.
This has nothing to do with the character who he's working for. Blah blah blah. This is about shit. You know, guys that I came up with. They're getting the press. They're getting the love. Silvestri just killed this. Now it's my turn. Let me show you what the fuck I'm about. So this has nothing to do with him trying to do something for DC, other than this is just about him for him. Ego.
Yeah.
Time.
Oh, I couldn't agree with that more. I mean, I've seen a couple of people online say the similar thing, or there's people that posted or made a comment on my post when I posted about the show. I'm like, nothing about the whole, you know, like the Jim Lee's let all this stuff happen. You know, I see Kayla saying that in the chat and everything. To me, I'm let all that go. This has nothing to do with DC business wise, you know, character wise, or anything. This is pure ego to show that you are still relevant and that you still are the man. You know, because regardless of Silvestri being the best that everybody can acknowledge, Jim Lee was the king.
Yeah.
In perception of the comic book fans for most of his career, you know, until he kind of stepped back. And so I think he's going to going out to regain that crown. So
he's not getting a page rate. He's not getting a page rate. Like, this shit's attached to his salary. So he's doing it for free, essentially. Like, everything he's done since he got into that chair, like how many years ago, like, he's not getting page rates. He's just doing it to do the work. You know?
Yeah. And you know, it's going to be a good story because it's Jeff Loeb.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, he's going to, when he works with a writer he likes and that can inspire him. And that's the thing about Jeff Loeb. He's going to write something for Jim Lee to draw. And he's going to draw right to Jim Lee's strengths and give him everything that's a Jim Lee strength to draw, and it's going to be amazing. So yeah, put all the other stuff, you know, the culture war stuff aside for a second and just look at it based on pure ego and art for someone to go out and prove. You know, like I said, you drop the dick on the table moment. That's what it is, and I think that's what we're going to get. And I'm looking forward to that amazing art when it actually drops.
What's up, brother?
Dan Craig in the house.
There we go.
What's going on, brother? Good to see you.
Godfather of Honor stuff.
Yes, over there on Facebook. Todd Spidey still can't be touched.
Oh, you're fucking right, man.
That is
in my mind.
Beauty. Yeah, work of beauty. Okay, back to writing for me. Almost done. Have a good show, guys. You too. And great, you know, good luck on the writing. Looking forward to that. Well, yeah, he's definitely getting paid. What I think Sean was saying is that he's on a salary right now. So I guarantee they're not like, hey, draw this and we're going to get you a page rate on top of the salary. You know, he's making millions of dollars. So they can afford to just be like, hey, you know, do this project. And who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if we find out it was Jim Lee himself that went to Jeff Loeb and said, we got to do something. Did you see that Silvestri fucking book?
Yeah.
we got to do something, man. All right. If it's good, Jim Lee will shut everybody up. If it's not, Silvestri will laugh at him. Well, I think those guys highly respect each other, but I do think there's a competitive gene that Silvestri wants. He's enjoying the accolades, and Jim Lee's like, I want some of that light. Give it to me. 1000%. So anyway, things to look forward to in 2025 as well. So we got some creators on the show, as we have been talking about. Missrena is back. When she was on the show a while ago, she was launching Black Rhapsody book 1. I can't remember if she came on again after it came out or not, but we are here and we're looking at Black Rhapsody book 2. Missrena, how did the first issue go? Were you happy with its reception, and what is number 2 about?
For the first issue, ran into a lot of difficulties, but I was able to overcome it. I did the campaign on 10K, my first campaign on 10K.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Sorry I haven't been on the show in a while. I've just been focusing on trying to make sure the book is finished and gets to backers' hands.
Yes.
I went from my previous campaign about logistics that I didn't anticipate.
Oh, tell us about it.
Yeah, but
I feel you.
Now that I'm signed out for publisher, hopefully things will be better this time.
Oh, nice.
Now, book 2, it continues where book 1 left off. Our heroine Alethea basically gets a hit put out on her and must survive the night or die trying. Basically, this book is basically what will happen when you piss off an evil pop star and get her thralls sent after you.
Taylor Swift, I got you. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Do Dee. But yeah, this book is going to have a lot more action than the previous one. I'm planning on making this book longer than the previous book. Oh, thank you.
Hell yeah, Sheldon.
Martin. Thank you. That's nice to hear. But yeah, this was a lot more darker and more action-packed because our heroine literally has to survive almost getting killed. Try not to spoil anything, but she gets put through absolute hell.
Nice.
With her friends.
Art is great. It's got like a anime dark tone to it. It's really cool.
Yes, the artist is a Marvel artist by the name of Marielle T. Formesia. She worked on the Unstoppable Wasp in the past.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
The colorist is Yenny Laud. She worked on Spider-Woman and Deadpool.
Okay.
Oh, we got some talent on the book. Hell yeah.
I was gonna say, if you say Dan Kemp, I'm gonna fucking burst flames.
No, I remember Missrena when you were on before, and I backed Black Rhapsody 1. We got sitting over there somewhere in my big ass collection of stuff I need to put in boxes. But that was one thing I liked. I mean, it's not necessarily the art style that I go for, but I dug what I saw with that first book. Was that the same artist then in this book too?
That was a different artist.
Okay, different artist. All right.
Unfortunately, I couldn't get the artist from book 1 back for book 2. He got signed on with a publisher.
Okay.
He's getting work, which I'm very happy to hear about.
Absolutely, yeah.
Time to reconnect. But yeah, we have a new team of people this time. I have a new editor by the name of Micah Curtis.
Okay.
CEO of Grindstone Arts. He too also has a book in production called The Saint and Peregrine. Wait, what was that comment? I didn't finish reading.
Oh, sorry. He said, no, Taylor, I would love to hear Joe talk about music some other time, I think is what you meant to say. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is like a very music themed book.
Yes.
The main character is based on goth rock or goth punk. And her powers is that she uses the power of song to communicate with the dead and reunite the dead with her loved ones. Basically, think Sailor Moon if she was a badass necromancer.
Now, I remember the concept being pretty cool the last time you were on the show talking about book 1. I was like, that's a pretty cool concept. Obviously, being in the music world like I was, it's cool to see that incorporated into the comic story as well. So No, that's pretty cool. I am interested in the new art. Like the art looks really, really good. Like some top-notch professional stuff. And definitely getting some of the Marvel talent is really cool. So congratulations on that. I see Hail the Lore, one of our mods, dropping the link in there. I also have the link below in the information section. So if you guys haven't yet, please go sign up for this for Black Rhapsody 2. Do you know when you're going to be dropping the actual book, when it's going to be hidden?
I want to make sure the book is close to completion for the second campaign.
Okay.
I've learned in the past and from other creators that is not essentially a reliable way to get a book out there if you have it partially completed and then head to like funding. I decided to take
Yeah.
a different route by having the book be near or fully complete. As
Right
of right,
on.
the book is like 50% completed.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, it's never a bad strategy if you can do that, for sure. Let's see. Darlene is in the house. It is my mom. Great to see you. Thank you for being here.
How's it going?
Appreciate you.
Hello, Mrs. Smith.
That's awesome.
Over on Facebook there.
You raised one hell of a man.
Yeah. Well, this is so I actually have two moms. It's a long story.
Oh.
Just throw that out there.
Oh. This is 2024.
Well, I mean, I don't want to go that crazy. Come on, people. I'm just moving on. I'll tell the story some other time.
Okay.
My brain is being, what do you say? So as my first comic, if you get Missrena and band to do music for this, it'd make bank. Oh, there you go. You ever thought about that?
Is it the music?
Putting a band together? One day. There's just silence, and then Chris is just like
stupid thing.
Oh yeah. All right, hello, Laura. Right on. I'm gonna leave that comment there in the chat for you, though. But right on. I feel you. What are we doing here? Okay. We also
Thanks, Hail the Lore. Holy shit. We all kind of thought it, I guess. I don't know.
I did.
You got my buddy Matt Grohl in the house. Says, I have music. He does have music. I've said this before. Met Matt back when we were Matt's still doing music, but when I was doing music, he's one of the best bass players I've ever seen in my life. Fantastic talent. He's also got an awesome band right now. So if anybody is looking for music, if you want soundtracks or whatever, hit Matt up. I definitely highly recommend that. All right, we have Writhe in Pain Book 2 dropped Friday on the Ballers. We're sitting at $11,473, 136 backers. Congratulations, guys, on such an awesome start. This got to feel good.
Yeah,
it does, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect, but yeah, this is a very pleasant surprise to see us doing this well out of the gate. Because campaigns have been a little, I would say down for a lot of people, but this is a good turnout.
Yeah, no, it's been really, really awesome. For anybody that didn't read the first book, you want to let them know what this is about and just quick of where the story is headed in book 2.
Sure. Writhe in Pain's supernatural witch action. We have our main character, witch hunter detective Sean Payne. He comes from a family of witch hunters. When he's in his 20s, he's assigned to kill a college-age witch to retrieve the Tome of Black, this ancient book that witches use to summon demons from the abyss. When he goes to fulfill his mission, instead of killing the woman, he ends up falling in love with her and marrying her and starting a family, and they have a couple kids, and he puts that whole life behind him, joins the police force, becomes a detective, he's working on this huge case where missing children in their town. He's trying to get to the bottom of it, and his oldest daughter starts to dabble in witchcraft, and she gets a hold of the Tome of Black, and then she goes missing, and he thinks it's part of this big conspiracy going on in their town. He becomes driven by that and sort of pushes his family to the side, neglects them. So while he's pursuing this case, trying to find his missing daughter, his youngest daughter then has witch powers develop, and now witch hunter and witch have to team up to not only find his oldest daughter, but to figure out what's going on in their town. Which in volume 1, spoilers, they unearth this whole like evil alliance from hell that's taking over their city. So going forward, in book 2, we find Writhing Pain trapped in hell, trying to get back to Earth. And while they're in hell, we see new characters arriving that are going to become bigger players in the Writhing Pain story. So we got a lot going on, a lot of new characters in volume 2. Chris is drawing the hell out of the book. It's been a lot of fun working on this. If you're a fan of like 90s image monster books like The 10th, Spawn, this is right up your alley.
Which I would say I think most of our viewers are on this channel, just for purely what we look at and what we love on this channel. So I mean, this is right up everybody's alley. I do have to ask, how did you guys get the rights to be able to use Biker Mice from Mars?
I just asked.
Nice. I saw that
an email
a while ago, and I was like, "What?" It's like,
so Sean and I talk about this a lot, like how we see these artists getting exclusive covers, and I was like, man, I don't really see like they're on the tier that someone would go out and ask them to draw a cover. And Sean says, they just buy them. I was like, well. That's a great idea. Like if I was an artist, I would want a Turtles cover or whatever. And I'm always thinking of things to add to the campaign that's new and interesting. And Biker Mice, I saw they were out. Oni Press was bringing them back, and I was a fan in the 90s of the cartoon. I was like, hey, I'm gonna just see if this is a possibility. So I just emailed Oni Press cold, their marketing guy, and asked if it was possible to buy a cover. And he was like, yeah, there's only one thing. Issue 3 is the final issue of the series, and it's going to press Monday, next Monday. And this was a Tuesday. So we had 6 days to get the cover drawn, approved by not only Oni, but Nacelle, who owns the Biker Mice, and colored to make this happen. And I asked Chris if he was up for it, and he was like, hell yeah. So even getting Chris approved, because they had a list of artists approved that I could use, and I was like, well, I don't want to use any of those guys. I want to use Chris Graves. And
way to go to bat for me, Mark.
Way to step up. I like that.
And I sent them Chris's artwork, and they were like, oh, he's amazing. Yeah, you can use him. Send us some thumbnails. So I had this specific cover in mind. I wanted the leader Throttle with his back to the reader, because I wanted the Haunted Pizza logo on the back. My company.
Well, that's the first thing I noticed.
Yeah,
right off the
bat.
Like
if I'm paying for this, I want my company logo on the back. But we never really talked about it. I just thought we were going to just sort of like hide that in. And then I was like seeing how like working with them in Nacelle, like how they had to approve everything, and like every little detail, like some of the things like Chris had to go back and redraw. So I just like at the last minute I was like, I want my company logo. If this is an exclusive for Haunted Pizza, I want the Haunted Pizza logo on it. And I thought it was going to be a big deal, but they were like, no, we're cool with it. Go ahead. So
he goes, you want to do it? I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, man. He's like, well, I'm going to need roughs pretty quick. So I send him a couple, and he gives me like this one here because he wants his logo, which is completely understandable. But I also had a couple badass ones where like the bikes are jumping at you, coming at you, and it's just all kinds of dynamic composition, all the action, right? So I get this one, and we get it approved. But I have it originally like because Throttle, I guess is the main guy. He's got like this glowing punch, and I can't remember if it was for the Marvel version or for this version. But he's got a glowing fist. The energy's all radiating off of it. It's fucking. You see the rubble here, but it was like a whole desolate city that was just collapsing and all that shit. And they're like, "Oh yeah, we really like the comp, but instead of the glowing fist, just put a hot dog in his hand. Oh, and that cool, crumbling city. Yeah, just make it a carnival, and it's good." And I'm like, "Motherfucker!" So,
in other words, just give us a different one.
Just take out the cool shit, right? So now I'm drawing it, and everything's happening kind of fast. I don't even think to ask for a character design, so I kind of go off of some that are, I guess fan art and whatever.
Oh, gotcha.
And I draw this thing, and I guess Nacelle, was it Nacelle, Mark? I can't remember. They get back to us, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it looks great. Change the bike, change this, change that, change the arm." I'm like, "Motherfucker, man!"
But they like asked for the bike to be changed after it was colored. And I was like,
yeah, right.
Nice.
So Mark sends it to me, and it was a quick fix, but it was just one of those things where, because you're rushing so much, everything feels like it's a lot more pressure than it is, but we knocked it out. So we showed this on Ballers, right? And John, the first thing John says, he's like, "Dude, this cover looks great, but I think I would have put some like ketchup and mustard on that hot dog."
Oh,
and I immediately go, "Fuck, that makes total sense." So now what we're going to do,
not ketchup. Come on.
Or, yeah, well, either or, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to add condiments as like a fucking remark on this cover. Like, you might get an occasional mustard or fucking.
Yeah, Chris is going to sign all of them in yellow and red. So
yeah.
Oh yeah, nice. No, that's pretty badass. We have Ryan Garcia saying, "Shout outs, guys! Shout out to you."
Yeah,
Shaking.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah, all it looks great. I back this. I can't wait to read it. Can't wait to get it. Issue 1 was great. I mean, this is like the guys said, this is right up the alley. If you guys like the stuff that we see here on this channel, or you guys see here on this channel, we do a lot of the image stuff. This is right up your alley. I mean, this is just vintage, dynamic, fun, heavy inks, great colors, rendered images. I mean, some of this stuff is absolutely awesome. We got John Malin cover right here. Definitely some boob action right in your face. I dig that.
Yeah, John's been awesome, man. Just support from him. The fact that he got the cover in, so we were able to get it colored and actually have it for the campaign, and not like an under construction thing. Just
I know how it goes.
I know how that goes.
Yep.
So we
Joe's like, "Shut the fuck up, Chris. Shut the fuck up."
We got the Malin artwork like maybe an hour before we went live, so I had to go back in. I just had an under construction like little image I put together.
You had it right.
And I had to replace that, and then like change all the thumbnails too. But yeah, I couldn't believe it, because I didn't think we would get the cover, especially since John launched his own book like 2 weeks prior, so I figured he was just busy with that. But to have it colored right before launch, and John even joined us on the launch. It was amazing.
Yeah, joined us on the launch. We go till, what time did we go till, Mark? Like
3:30, man.
And then John's like, wow. I think John's nocturnal. He's like, "Dude, I'll start a stream up right now." And I'm like,
well,
I'm asleep sitting up, and I'm like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it." I'm drunk as shit.
It's probably like middle of the day for John, because like when he was doing this cover for us, I would wake up like during the night to go to the bathroom, and I would see I've had a text from him like 4 a.m, and he was like, here's pencils and inks. What do you think? And I'm like, "Looks great." And then he responds right back, and I was like, "What is he doing up?" And I was like, "Oh, he's up. This is his schedule." He's outside grilling steaks at 4 a.m.
So he was down the stream for like, I think we did like another 2 or 3 hours, man. So like I said, just being super fucking cool, supportive, man. He's been great.
Shout out to Papa John.
Everybody go check out Writhe in Pain Book 2 live on Indiegogo now. There are links in the chat by our moderators. Appreciate you guys. There's also links down below if you're watching this not live. Go check it out. Go check out Black Rhapsody Book 2. The sign-up sheet is ready and it's up. Oh, here we go. Boys, I like that. If you sign up for Black Rhapsody 2 mailing list, you'll get 2 virgin covers and a special print.
Very
nice.
Cool.
All for just signing up?
Sign up.
All right.
Damn. That's a hell of a perk for signing up. Everybody, make sure you drop your email in there and then confirm it when you get the email from Indiegogo. That's a hell of that's a hell of a perk. Shout out, Jam.
Yes.
Nice. Well, good on you on that. I hope that works out.
And don't be a stranger.
Yeah. All right. Before we get out of here, I did want to there was a comment by our very lovely Kayla. Said back to the Jim Lee talk, he's the chief creative officer of DC. And I just want to say, is he though? Is he really?
Yeah.
Creative?
Like, yeah, is he? To me, I think that's more of a title that you give somebody to keep them around and then give them money. I don't know how much he actually is into the creative direction of DC. Now, I could be wrong. Now, he's taking all the blame. He's absolutely going to take all the blame for all the shit. And I get that. But I look at his role as a little bit more of like, name only, face of the company. And then there's other people behind making a lot of the big decisions that are crap. So
yeah, he's a Ronald McDonald.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys, we are going to get out of here. Before we do, Missrena, we're going to start with you. Are you going to be anywhere that people can check you out, and where can they find and follow your work?
Yes, I mainly frequent the place known as Twitter as Magic Gal Media. You can find me there. I post about my book all the time. Also, Grindstone Arts, whom I work for.
Oh, nice.
All right.
You gonna be on any streams coming up that you want to plug before we get out of here?
We're still in the scheduling phase.
I got you.
Awesome.
Well, definitely reach out, guys. Follow her work. Check her out. I've got links below. Definitely do that, and then sign up for Black Rhapsody 2, and you get both virgin covers and a special print for just signing up and backing the book. That is absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. Don't miss out on that. Chris, Mark, where are you guys going to be streaming wise, and where can people follow you?
You can find me on X
bye,
and
Instagram.
Fuck us, I guess.
You can find me on X and Instagram at Coney Waves. My YouTube channel is Primetime Poulton. We stream every Wednesday for Revolution.
My phone glitched.
No.
And every Sunday for the Writhe and Pain Horror Movie Club. This upcoming Sunday, we're talking Final Summer. And then also this weekend, you can catch me at Brickfest Live. I'll be signing all my kids' books. Cat Named Haiku, Pizza Tree, Little Graveyard Shift.
Heck yeah. Chris.
Yeah, man. Ballers on Friday at 10:30, I think it is. We do Trailer Park Conspiracies. Me, Mandy Summers. That's on Tuesdays or Thursdays. We do that around 9 o'clock. Revolution with Mark and Sean. And just the Grave_site at Twitter, man. Hit me up with a follow. I'll follow back.
Hell yeah. Links down below for everything, guys. Before we get out of here, we do have books there on the panel as well. Type 1 is rocking and rolling out there. Don't be a bum. No. Type 1. You guys know this. Let's get this thing to 10K. It's also over on Fund My Comics.
Almost there. Look, you know my spiel. I appreciate everybody that's backed it, that's believed in it. I'm got great, beautiful covers, but I'm blessed to call these guys my friends because this is just, I think I got the best variants out there. I'm biased, but I don't care. Get the Chris Graves, get the Phil McNulty, like God bless the dead. Joey's working on his. We got some stuff that we're working on. Hopefully that's gonna come through. But
yes.
Look, if you know my spiel, just back. But I do have something else to ponder, so we can talk about that shit later.
Yeah, ponder it.
I got the preview book. I got the standard edition for $10. I still got the liner edition of the Chris Graves inked variant.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yo, bro, this feels. I sent Mark to give you a copy, but did you feel it?
I didn't even touch it yet because I like the look of it though. I didn't feel it,
bro. The texture's fucking awesome. And then we got the lost one, Phil McNulty.
The lost one. He's very much alive, everybody. I just wanted I have to state this.
Is
every
he?
time Sean's
He's dead to Sean.
He's dead to me.
Pour one
Look,
out for him.
Look, I'm like the 50 Cent of the fucking independent game. Like I take shit personal and petty. All right. Look, you buy all 3 books for $50. I'll throw in this Strees sketch for you. Slide in my DMs, one of the social medias, and like, let's go. Because insulin's not cheap, people. You want to see me die?
No.
Really? See? So
yeah,
buy
back
my
the
shit.
book.
No.
Save Sean.
Yeah.
Hashtag Sean.
Yeah.
Also, Reaper Destroyer is rocking and rolling. We're very close to getting to 74K. We did crush the 1,250 backers, which is what I was really wanting to get to the closer we got to it. You guys know it. It's a book about a man who's in prison in a supernatural suit of armor inhabited by the ancient spirit of death who's trying to possess his soul. But the story is so much more than that. When we actually get the book out and you guys read the story, we're going to dive more into it. But there's lots of stuff in the book that I don't want to really spoil yet by talking about too much that is in there. But this is everything that I love about comic books, everything we talk about here. Same thing with Writhe and Pain. It's got a very 90s aesthetic feel to it because that's just where my influences come as an artist. With probably much more of an updated writing style than you would find in the 90s. So I think best of both worlds, some fantastic talents on this book. Check the links below. This book is at the printer. I'm still trying to get a solid time of when I should be expecting the books, but I do have one of my physical proofs here. This book looks absolutely amazing. I'm so excited for you guys to read this and how it came out, just everything in general. Beautiful. So been getting some pretty good reviews from people that have read the book and giving me feedback on it. So excited to get this out in everybody's hands. And as soon as we have it, me and my wife are going to start working on getting the books out. So be patient with us. How's it end? Oh, let me tell you. Yeah, be patient with us because right now it's just the 2 of us and it's the first time I've fulfilled. So we will do our best to try to get it out as fast as we can to people.
I'm going to try to make it out there.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome if you can. Sean will be helping. A couple other people said that they would try to get out and help as well. And we'll take all the help we can get. But until then, it's just going to be the 2 of us getting it out to you guys. Tentatively, we are ending the campaign on November 9th. If I have to push that back a little bit, I might because I want to get some books in hands before that campaign actually ends. So we'll see how that all lines up to when I get the books back and we can start getting them out. But thank everybody that has backed all of our books on the show, all of the creators here, everybody has supported us. We appreciate you guys, everybody. As always, chat, you guys have been great all night long. I've been paying attention to some of your comments, and you guys, always bring entertainment. I love it. We will be back. We will be back Monday for the comic block, 9 p.m. starting with the Spawn review. We've been looking at the newest issue 357, with Brett motherfucking Booth on art. Diving into that, it's going to be awesome. Also, appreciating Comic Book Art Live. Follow us at about 10:20-ish. I found what was it? Batman and Robin All-Star. Jim Lee, the penciled issue 1. The full pencils issue 1. I found that book. We're going to take a look at it, especially with the news dropping of Jim Lee coming back to Batman 2025. So tune in Monday for that. Until then, be good to each other. Take care of one another. And as always, picture me naked. Talk to y'all later. Peace.